Okay, hi. I'd like to show you how to use up some old paint. Um, I'm painting my bedroom, and I had this paint that was used previously to paint our dining room. The color is called Kilim Beige. It's from Sherwin-Williams, and it has a satin finish. And we only had a little bit left of that, and not enough to do the bedroom. We would need at least probably another gallon to do that. But we did have a lot of other paint in the basement, and I also didn't want to go out of the house if necessary. So I took a look at what we did have, and I did find a couple of candidates of what we could use. And these are the three that I finally settled on. First, I got this Sherwin-Williams white. It's called porcelain, but it's white. This one is semi-gloss. Now, it's both latex. If you mix latex semi-gloss with something else, you can get satin. The sequence of gloss levels goes like this. Gloss, semi-gloss. Actually, it has a high gloss at the top. Silk, satin, eggshell, satin, flat, matte flat. Okay, so if you have a semi-gloss and you want to get a satin, you have to mix it with eggshell, let's say. Now, turns out we had quite a bit of eggshell. Here's eggshell, and the color on this one was called Pale Honey. It's yellow, but it's a light yellow. Okay, now, I mixed that. I made some samples. This is the color, this is the so-called target, the Kilim Beige. I mixed 50% of the porcelain white semi-gloss with 50% of the Pale Honey eggshell to produce something which will have a satin finish. And this is what I got. You can tell it's yellow. It's not beige. If you look at the color wheel, you find that yellow is actually opposite of purple. If I mix a certain amount of purple, I should take this to a more neutral color, okay? Neutralizing the yellow. Fortunately for me and our extensive paint collection, we happen to have purple. It actually is a light purple. The color was called Silverberry. It's also latex paint, and the gloss level was called Pearl. Pearl is just another name for satin. So this is right in the target of what we're looking for, actually. So I'm free to add some of this to these other two, and between the three of these, I might be able to get the Kilim Beige. So what I did was I took 50%, I took 1:1:1 ratio of the porcelain white, the pale honey yellow, and purple, silverberry, and I mixed this. Now you can see, this came out kind of gray. It definitely took away the yellow color, but this beige color actually has a slight brownish tint. The beige is slightly brown. So what I concluded was possibly I added too much purple because it overcompensated all of this color. If I took less purple, I might be able to actually get a residual which had some brownish type color, okay? So I did a mix of up here, this one I have here. This one is one part of the porcelain yellow, the white, and the yellow, the honey, pale honey. And then I only put a half of the purple into that. And what I get with that, it might be a little bit hard to see because it's a little further away. It's actually a color match. You can't really see a color match on this camera, but that one is yellowish, that one is grayish, and the top one is beige. It's actually a match to the Kilim Beige. It's a close match, obviously. It's not perfect, but it's pretty close. Okay, So I needed about a gallon, so I just used my paint stick. And I put marks on it. You probably can't see the marks because I've already mixed it, but I put a mark at 2.5 inches of up, and then 5 inches up, and then another 1.25 inches up. And I filled the pot with, and mixed them up. And I got a good color match. Now I have an extra gallon of the Kilim Beige. Plus, we had about 1/4 gallon of Kilim Beige. I temporarily just moved that into this pot. And I'll mix that with this one, just to give me about a 1.25 gallons to do the room with some margin. If I did, for example, start to run out, I could mix up these three again, because this one was almost a full gallon. It was a full gallon. This one was mostly full, and this one was only about probably 1/3 of the gallon. I still have enough between these to make an entire gallon if I need to, okay? While I was doing this, I didn't have to worry about thinning any of these. These were all in good condition. They were properly sealed, or they were sealed well enough last time they were used, so that I didn't have to worry about thinning them or screening them if there were any lumps in them. There weren't. But I did have a lot of other old paint that while I was at this job, I did thin some other paint. I had some primer. It was oil-based primer that was a little too thick. So I added some paint thinner, and I stirred it up, and I got it to a good consistency. I looked on the internet. This made a really good paint stirrer. You put it in a drill, and then it just spins around. You can buy one, a paint stirrer at the hardware store for $5. But this one I had lying around, and it did a good job. Some other paint. I had some other paint that was not, that had needed to be thinned. Latex needed to be thinned, and I was able to thin that up. Here's one that didn't thin up as good as I would have liked it to, because originally it was thicker, and it was, even after adding water to the desired consistency and stirring it, it was still lumpy. That one I screened. I poured it through a window screen to take the lumps out, and what I have in there, it seems fine. I don't need it for this job, so I'm only mentioning it because, in terms of using up old paint, because not only, of course, it's going to save you not having to go to the hardware store, buying new paint, and then you've still got the old paint in your basement, which is not the easiest thing to throw away, for example. If you can use it, so much the better. And mixing, getting the idea of how you can mix colors. I think I was pretty lucky on this one, that I just happened to have that purple, because I needed purple pigment, and I did need a significant amount of it. I suppose if I could have found a pigment source, I just added the pigment, raw pigment, but I didn't have anything like that in the house to use. And I didn't even see them selling that at the hardware store, although they must have them at the various color stores, the custom paint stores, or even at the hardware stores where they mix paint. I'm sure they have the pigmentation and the systems they have there, but I don't know if they will give some of that to you. So this one is just what I did in this case, so I just wanted to let you see that. Okay, thanks now, bye.